everybody, it's me, Nina. How are you guys doing today? Well, we had to go out and get supplies for the chickens, and Steve stopped at the store. He had to get some potatoes and stuff, and I'm gonna fix dinner for us when we get home. Very tired today. Another one of those insomnia nights. It was 5:30 this morning before I could get to sleep, so if anybody's wondering, that's why I've got the extra baggy eyes today. So, yeah, I will take you guys in the kitchen with me when we make dinner. I'm not making nothing big, nothing fancy. We have radishes ready in the garden, so I'm going to probably fry some potatoes, make some cornbread, and open some of the pinto beans and have some radishes, and we're just going to do it easy today. I don't know about any meat. I don't know if Steve laid out anything. I didn't. But, so yeah, I thought I would just make a little opening while we're here. I'm waiting on Steve, and when we get back to the house, I'll take you guys in the kitchen with me. Alright, let's get started preparing something to eat. I'm going to use a cup of flour. I'm going to make some cornbread and some pinto beans, fried potatoes, radishes, radishes from the garden, and then about 2 cups, of, I made a mess, didn't I? Of corn milk. I always like to put some Crisco in my iron skillet. You can't see it, it's off camera. I'll turn the camera around in a second. Alright, you don't have to, but I like to add an egg. Well, I guess it's going to be one of the fresh eggs from today. How about this super duper big one? Look at that thing. It's humongous. Alright, got that washed off. I'm going to take that grease off of there. I've got the oven preheating. Here's our gigantic egg. I like to use buttermilk, but I forgot to have Steve get some when he stopped at the store. This is actually whole milk, because when he went the other day, they were out of the 2%. Well, we just want enough to make it be able to stir up well. And like I said, buttermilk's better, but you use what you got. Alright, we just want the consistency of like cake batter, a little bit thicker than a cake batter. Tilt that camera down for me, sweetheart. There you go, thank you. Now, Steve in the kitchen, he peeled the potatoes for me. These are a few of the radishes that Steve got out of the garden today. Look how yummy. Took down Mom and Chummy some of them. I'm just going to slice up a few just so we can munch them with our dinner. Steve took the oven's ready for the cornbread. Steve took the greens from the radishes and gave them to the chickens, and he said they tore them up. They loved them. Probably don't need very many of these for just Steve and I to munch on. Willow can only have a couple of them at a time because just like anything, just in moderation for dogs. But I think they're beautiful. I love how bright and white those centers are. Yummy. Alright, the oven is ready. I'm going to stick that in the oven at 400 for about 20-25 minutes. Got Mr. Steven peeling potatoes. trying to find it with the, there we go. What's wrong with? Thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome. They're done.
Okay, so I've got the last of my Crisco here in the iron skillet. I love cooking with these iron skillets. This one was one of my mom's, and it looks like a lot of Crisco. And if it happens to be too much when I get the potatoes in there, I can always drain it back into the can. But I think it's going to be, honestly, probably about perfect. But yeah, this one is a actual, it's a Griswold, and those are a really good brand. I told Steve, I said, you cut the potatoes up a little large. He said, well, cut them down. I said, nope, that'll be fine. It might take a few more minutes to cook, but that's okay. And we like a lot of pepper. And not as much salt. Yeah, I've got that down on medium, so we're going to let these fry. I'm going to find me a lid. This lid's a little big. It's from our Lodge pan that I fried chicken in, but it will work. I'm also going to fix a can of these Lux beans. I don't know if you guys have tried these, but if your store carries them, I would highly suggest to buy some of them, especially if you are fixing a quick dinner and you want something that's really tasty and good. These to me taste just like if I would have cooked them all day long, and they're just delicious. So I always try to keep some on hand. Now actually, when our stores here in Ohio around us, they were out of these for I don't know how long, and during the pandemic, and my mom and Chummy went down to Kentucky to visit his sister, and I knew that the little store down there would have them because we used to live down in that town when our son was a baby, and they stopped and bought me a whole case of them, so I was very thankful for that. And then of course a few weeks later our store started getting them back in, but I just think they're quick and easy. Yes, I have canned my own pinto beans and other beans, and I haven't done that for a while. Steve was just saying today that that's probably something that we probably should do again. It really comes in handy to have a quart of beans in case somebody'd stop over, or just maybe even a pint of beans already processed and you just have to heat them up. So that might be something that we do really, really soon. I also wanted to say, for anyone that maybe is in the younger generation, it's so much easier as you're preparing your food to keep everything wiped down as good as you can. Got 3 more dozen eggs back there. Chickens are laying really great. And that way, when I keep everything wiped down and rinsed out, I just put the dirty dishes there, and when we're done eating, I can just put them right into the dishwasher and they'll be ready to just hit the go button, which is so nice. It's so much easier on my back having that dishwasher. I'm so thankful for it. I forgot to pump chicken. That's how it usually goes. Well, you guys, you know what I did? I used the all-purpose flour instead of the self-rising flour. So my cornbread is pretty flat. But we're going to try and eat it, and I told Steve if it's not edible, we'll just fix a piece of buttered bread. So we're going to get busy and eat, and we'll be right back. Cannot believe, after all these years of cooking, I ended up using all-purpose instead of self-rising. My goodness. I just didn't even catch it in time. What we had been doing is Steve was going through that cabinet where we keep a lot of our different flours and noodles and stuff like that, and he had taken everything out off of the shelf, and we were going through it, seeing the dates if they were still good, and I just ended up grabbing that wrong one, and then, you know, too late. But we didn't end up even eating buttered bread. I told him that was enough for me for right now. And I was going to tell you too, another thing is, if you get like flour or cornmeal or anything, like I do, I tend to get it from the Amish place. I always put it in our deep freeze. If you can keep it in there for like a couple days, if there would happen to be any type of little bugs, which most of the time honestly there really is, it will kill all of them. And when you take it out and use it, you don't have to worry about the little bugs hatching or whatever. So that's what I always try to do. I always try to keep them in the deep freezer for, well, usually longer than several days. I usually put them in there and forget about them. But yeah, just a little hint for y'all. I just love being outdoors. And here in Ohio, yeah, we do get some warm temperatures, but nothing like they get like in Florida. And then I also heard out west they've gotten really, really high temperatures lately. And you know, I haven't been out west since I was like 18 years old. And I went with my friend Patty. And I went with her and her mom and dad, and her oldest brother was living in Waco, Texas at the time. He was working on a milk farm that, you know, it was beautiful, beautiful countryside and trees all around, and they lived way, way back a lane, and I just will never forget it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful there. And once again, it was around, I believe, February when we went. And here in Ohio, when I had spoke to my parents, that we had gotten a big snowstorm. So yeah, I loved Texas. We traveled all over, and I really did love it. I have not been there since I was 18, and it's kind of funny because now I love to watch the, you know, any show that has Chip and Joanne in it, and you know they live in Waco or around Waco, Texas. And I told Steve I would love to go to the Magnolia Market and all that. Maybe, you know, maybe we can someday. I don't know. I would love to be able to travel, and you know that is one of my big. I don't have a bucket list, but if I had a bucket list, it would be to travel, to see more of the U.S. And you know, it's been forever since, like I said, when I went to like the Grand Canyon, and you know, I had always planned on taking our son, and we never could. Financially, we just never could do it. And that's a bummer, you know, but things happen, life happens, and you just can't always do what you want to do. But yeah, that is a goal. If I don't get to, then it is what it is, right? But I'm telling you, boy, I'd love to. I was looking into those little tiny, I think they're called teardrop campers, and they actually make them in Ohio. The Amish make them. They can actually be pulled by like a car like ours and a small utility, you know, vehicle. So I was looking into those, but for a new one, I couldn't find any used ones. For a new one, they're like 8,000 to 10,000. And I told Steve, I said, you know, the thing that would be kind of nice about having one of those is you could load up your car and have everything that you need and be able to go, well, actually, with our car, we could even boondock somewhere. And we'd be able to sleep in the camper. Even the small one will fit a queen size mattress in it. And you know, my old bones and stuff, I'm way beyond tent camping. But I told Steve I might be able to handle something like that. So who knows? I wouldn't mind stopping and cooking, you know, have a small propane heater burner and be able to fix our meals. You know, it doesn't take much for Steve and I to be happy and enjoy our dinners. You know, we wouldn't even mind having peanut butter and jelly for lunch. So we could do it on a really, really tight budget and be happy. We would be so happy seeing the sights. I would love for that to happen. I haven't showed the garden to you guys in what, about a week now. It's really grown a lot. I think you could do a video every day. It seems like things change so quickly. Look how tall that corn has gotten. Oh, Romeo's letting everybody know. Yep, look at the radishes. That's what we pulled the radishes from, and there's a whole bunch more that's ready. And these are all the different, I don't know what's... Romeo, I'm trying to talk. I don't know which ones are which, but melons and all kinds of stuff in here. Squashes. I think the flowers on those are so pretty. That's what makes the fruit. Look at the yellow flowers here. Oops, I got two. There we go. A whole bunch of them. My goodness, y'all, look at all the flowers here. Can you see all them? If those get all the fruit and stuff on them, we're going to have a whole bunch. Did you hear that little tiny rooster down there trying to crow? Look at all of them. Tons. I tell you, so far we have been so blessed with bugs not eating up the plants. We haven't had to put anything on them at all. Very, very thankful.
With you, I can be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly up through the dreams where the skies are so clear. With you, I wanna stay with you. With you, I love the way that you love me today. Let's run up through the fields where the sun shines and heals. With you, I wanna stay with you. It's been so cold since you have been gone, like I was told.
I was just looking up about radishes and the leaves because we gave it to the chickens and they loved it. And I was wondering about for human consumption. And it says that the radish leaves are not poisonous. And in fact, they're a nutritious green that tastes similar to chard. In fact, they're in the same family as cabbages, as kale and broccoli. So you can eat them green, and I'm sure you could cook them up even. I wondered when I looked at all those, there's a lot of wonderful greens to those radishes out there. So kind of glad that I found that out. Thought I would share that little tip with you in case you weren't sure of it yourself. Now, we planted those radishes. It actually came on the seeds were implanted on a little thin like tape sort of, and you just planted that little piece of tape material, whatever, into the ground, and they grew wonderfully, as you guys could tell. So yeah, that's a great thing. I told Steve next year we're going to buy a couple more of those type of things, and they were easy to fool with, and they did great. So another tip for you. I want you guys to look and see what my hubby did.
This is dessert.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, the glaze is sugar-free.
Sugar-free glaze?
Yeah. So really I guess the cakes are the only thing that be...
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know. I thought you were going to flip that. I didn't know they made sugar-free glaze.
I didn't either until I just looked at the package. I thought it was regular glaze.
Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will see you on the next video. God bless.
With you, I can be sad with you. Just take my hand.